The original Mopar diagnostic system and its successor MDS2 were the first steps in moving technical support for your service bay towards an electronic format that could be updated quickly and easily. Now it's time for the next step, TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS, the web-based replacements for the MDS2. Welcome to Master Tech. In this month's program, we'll first look at the general features of TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS and how they're being rolled out. Then we'll discuss accessing these powerful new tools and using their functions. One of the things that really makes TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS different from previous systems is that they're web-based. You access them through a high-speed internet connection. In fact, TechCONNECT is one of the selections on the DealerConnect website, which is intended to be the primary means of communication between Daimler, Chrysler, and dealerships. The functions provided by TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS are replacing those previously provided by MDS2. These new tools do not rely on the installation of CD-ROMs for updates. They're updated automatically, and their web-based navigation makes them easy to use. Just like the MDS2, TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS are designed to work with the DRB3 and with the Copilot. To make the transition smoother, the change from MDS2 to TechCONNECT will occur in stages. The first step should have already occurred in your dealership, as MDS2 workstations were replaced with TechCONNECT PCs. During the transitional phase, you'll be able to use the PC to access TechCONNECT over the internet. And TechTOOLS will also be available over the internet via a separate icon. You can use another icon on the new PC to access MDS2 functions, which are provided by the dealership's CIS servers. When TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS are fully implemented, functions previously handled by the MDS2 will be handled over the web, and the MDS2 option will no longer be available. In addition, access to TechTOOLS will be rolled into the TechCONNECT site. Well, that's a general look at how TechCONNECT and TechTOOLS are being implemented. Next, we're going to look at what you need to do to access them. Accessing TechCONNECT features is quite a bit different than accessing features on MDS2. Start by selecting the Internet Explorer web browser on the TechCONNECT PC desktop. Then log on to DealerConnect by typing in or selecting the URL www.dealerconnect.com. At this point, a logon screen will appear, and you'll need to type in your user identification number, or SID, and a password. The dealer code is optional. If you don't have an SID and password, then you'll need to contact the dealer principal to obtain them. Without an SID and password, you cannot access the DealerConnect website or TechCONNECT. Once you've logged on, the DealerConnect screen will appear. To access TechCONNECT, first click on the Service tab. Then click on TechCONNECT. In the early stages of the TechCONNECT rollout, access to TechTOOLS will occur by means of a separate icon on the PC desktop. You simply click on that icon, then log in with your SID and password, just as you did for TechCONNECT. Later, TechTOOLS will be available on the TechCONNECT website. To access MDS2 functions during the transition period, simply select the MDS2 icon and proceed as you did in the past. Next, we're going to cover how to use some TechCONNECT features to display service and diagnostic information. Even if you've relied on print manuals in the past, you'll quickly realize that TechCONNECT is very user-friendly. And if you're familiar with MDS2 functions, making TechCONNECT work for you should be even easier. Once you're at the starting screen, you'll find that, as on MDS2, there are two ways to conduct a session: using the VIN or using the model year, model name, and engine. To initiate a VIN session, first type in the 17-digit VIN. Typing in just the last 9 digits will also work. In either case, after typing the full or partial VIN, click on Submit. Using the VIN to initiate a session allows TechCONNECT to provide you with information that is more specific to the vehicle you're working on. The other way to initiate a session is by selecting the model year, model name, and engine, also referred to as a YME session. Note that simply entering the YME information will initiate the session. Clicking on the Submit button at this point will result in a prompt for a VIN. Once you've entered a VIN or YME information, you'll be able to use the tabs in the upper part of the screen to obtain the information you need. TechCONNECT always defaults to the TSBs and Recalls tab at the beginning of a session. As before, service bulletins are organized according to service manual group and date. Other tabs include Service Info, which is the service manual information, Wiring, which includes the wiring diagrams, Parts, and Diagnostics, which is the same information found in the diagnostic manuals. There's also a Metrics tab, which gives you information about the sessions you've conducted and is sometimes used to evaluate system performance. Note that you can now access diagnostics either through a VIN or through YME selections. Another helpful feature of TechCONNECT is the ease with which you can go back to a previous screen. That's because a navigation path is displayed above the tabs, and you can select previous screens from that path without having to go back through all the screens. At this point, let's walk through some examples of just how easy it is to obtain service and diagnostic information using TechCONNECT. In the first case, we'll navigate to a procedure for replacing brake components on a 2000 Dodge Neon. We start by entering the year, model, and engine information. Doing so automatically brings up the selections for that vehicle. Remember that with a VIN entry, we would have had to have clicked on Submit. We select the tab for Service Info, and the table of contents appears on the left side. We then select the folders for brakes, base brakes, brake shoes, and removal and installation. Selecting the bullet for disc brake shoes front brings up the service information on the right side of the screen. Notice that selecting the Hide Table of Contents icon hides the table of contents and brings the service information full screen. You can restore the table of contents by clicking on the Restore icon. Also notice that selecting one of the blue hot links brings up an illustration that supports the procedure. Selecting Back at the top of the screen takes you back to the procedure. You can also navigate back to the procedure by selecting the bullet point for the procedure. Using TechCONNECT to obtain diagnostic information is just as easy. Let's see how it's done on a vehicle which has an ABS diagnostic trouble code, left front sensor signal failure. In this case, we'll first enter the YME info for the vehicle we're working on. At this point, we select the Diagnostics tab. Doing so brings up the main diagnostic areas on the left side of the screen. We select Chassis from the main areas, and a table of contents appears on the right and left sides of the screen. Now we can simply scroll down the table of contents on the right to the heading for the DTC we're troubleshooting, and select it. And a procedure for the DTC appears on the screen. An alternative way of arriving at the procedure is to use the table of contents on the left side of the screen. To do that, we select Diagnostic Information and Procedures, Brakes, and 7.1.8 for the DTC procedure. Once you've used the TechCONNECT features a few times to access information, you'll find that it's fast and user-friendly. And the TechTools functions are just as easy to use. They're the subject of the next part of this program. The TechTools functions allow you to update the DRB3, reprogram vehicle controllers, display live data, and perform data recording. Now, in order to do these things, you need a link between the DRB3 and the TechCONNECT PC. That link is provided by the GPIB USB protocol converter device. The part number for this device is CH2002. It was supplied to dealerships as part of TechCONNECT. but is also available separately through PSE. The DRB3 end of the device connects to the port previously used by the MDS2. And the PC end of the device connects to a USB port on the TechCONNECT PC. The cables used to connect the DRB3 to vehicles have not changed. When you first log on to TechTools, there may be a slight delay while the files on the TechCONNECT PC are checked. If an update is needed, a PC sync screen appears, and the TechTools files are updated. If you're connecting to TechTools with a DRB3 that needs a major update, a window will appear automatically to notify you. As in the past, there are two major types of updates, major and minor. Major updates must be performed before you can use the DRB3 to perform TechTools functions. You can also select the icon that looks like a small scan tool to perform updates. Once again, the window shows the DRB3's current software version and the available update. Updating vehicle controllers with TechTools is similar to the procedure used with MDS2. TechTools defaults to the Flash Vehicle Controller function at startup. And if the DRB3 is connected to a vehicle, then TechTools will display information for that vehicle. There are several ways to begin controller reprogramming. One is to select Use Connected Vehicle. When you do this, the VIN and YME information for the vehicle the DRB3 is connected to will appear in the Vehicle Criteria window. Another way is to enter the VIN manually. You can also enter YME information without a VIN. Selecting Read Part Number from Vehicle is another way of retrieving controller updates for connected vehicles. If you know the part number for a specific controller, you can also enter that manually. The last way of retrieving information about controller updates is through TSBs. Simply enter the TSB number in the space provided on the screen. Once you've selected the criteria, clicking the Show Updates button will display all available updates. After you select the appropriate update, TechTools will display any related TSBs on the right. And the Flash information window will display which controller part numbers the Flash supersedes. At this point, you can choose to download the Flash update to the vehicle controller or to the DRB3, which can be connected to a vehicle later to perform the update. The reprogramming occurs in two stages, with the file first being downloaded to the PC hard drive. As in the past, you'll need to follow the instructions on the DRB3 to complete the Flash. In some cases, a Flash update may not be suitable for the vehicle you're working on. When that happens, even though the update was downloaded to the TechCONNECT PC, once you initiate reprogramming with the DRB3, a message will alert you that the part number is incorrect. The fact that TechTools places the update file on the PC's hard drive saves time by allowing TechTools to retrieve updates from your PC instead of over the internet. Useful features on the Flash update and other TechTools screens include the arrows at the corners of some of the windows. You can use these arrows to hide and restore parts of the screen. Other tabs on the TechTools screen allow you to display live data from a vehicle or perform data recording. The DRB3 must be connected to the PC and the vehicle to access these functions. Clicking on the Templates tab on the TechTools screen allows you to select a template to display live data. The screen defaults to a standard engine template when it first opens. However, there are a number of other templates available. You can also create a custom template by modifying items in a standard template or by selecting your own items. The process is basically the same as that used with the MDS2 to create custom templates. Additional options allow you to change the way data is displayed. Again, this is similar to the way you set up the graphs with MDS2. Once you're finished making changes, you can name and save the custom template. TPL is the file extension used with saved templates. It's a good idea to use the vehicle VIN in naming the files so they can be readily identified. Selecting the Live Display tab lets you display data from a vehicle using standard templates or any custom templates you've created and saved. During a session, If you've selected or created a template before coming to the live data display, the screen displays that template. Otherwise, when it's first opened, the live data display defaults to the standard engine template. On the live data screen, graphs are displayed to the right, and a table of items in the graphs and their current values are displayed to the left. Any diagnostic trouble codes are listed above the table. Buttons at the top of the display allow you to stop, freeze, reset min-max, and erase DTCs. In past Master Tech programs, we've shown you just how valuable data recording can be in tracking down the cause of intermittent conditions. Such data can go a long way towards pinpointing the cause of a drivability or shift concern. Well, TechTools is designed to take advantage of the same data recording tools you've used in the past, mainly the DRB3 and Copilot. And like the other TechTools functions we've discussed, this one will work a lot like what you're used to seeing on MDS2. We've been comparing TechCONNECT and TechTools functions to similar functions on the MDS2. But the fact is that it's easy to use these new tools even if you haven't spent much time with the MDS2. One TechCONNECT feature that can help you stay on track is the Help function. Help provides context-sensitive assistance that will walk you through most TechCONNECT and TechTools procedures. The Help function should answer most of the questions you have about using TechCONNECT and TechTools. However, for the really tough situations, there's still the hotline at 1-800-374-4040. Our final helpful feature is the message box on the TechCONNECT homepage. It appears whenever the homepage first appears or whenever you change the VIN or YME information. The window contains the latest information about TechCONNECT and TechTools, including any new features. We hope this look at TechCONNECT and TechTools helps you take advantage of these exciting new tools. Be sure to see this month's reference book for additional information related to this month's topic. And join us next month when the topic is Fuel Systems Update. Thanks for watching.